All right, well, Coach, big win last week at AJ. Now that you've got to watch film, what do you think you guys did well? What were you most pleased with?
Most pleased with is I think I went back 7 drives, 7 touchdowns. We were able to convert to move the ball. I've had a couple situations where we were fourth and short. We were able to go ahead and get it and do that. So when it comes down to just the X's and O's and the executing the plays, we did a good job at that.
You did say post game there were some things you wanted to fix.
Yeah.
What were those focuses this week?
Absolutely. It's just shoring up some stuff. We need to get back to some of the basics on downfield blocking, holding our blocks, blocking longer. We got onto some really good blocks, but we don't hold it for a step. Instead of getting them 5 yards downfield, they were right at the line of scrimmage. So O-line and D-line, we were working on getting off blocks or staying on blocks. Skill guys, we were working on looking the ball in better and not having some of those big drop balls that we saw kind of late in the game on Friday night.
Rushing wise, I thought Hicks had a pretty good game, 123 rushing yards. How would you compare this year's backfield to last year's, even though Ryder was a part of both?
Yeah, absolutely. With Ryder being part of both, we use him as a lot of misdirection. I know he didn't carry the ball a whole lot. A couple of times he had big plays. They unfortunately got called back. But he's going to be our misdirection guy. Everyone that we're betting on, everyone's going to key off of Reed. Anytime he goes and does something, they're going to be watching with our motion with that. And then with Brendan, I'm compared to Carmelo. Carmelo, we knew going into last season, he was really shifty and could run well, but we were worried about the downhill being able to plug into the hole, and he figured that out really quickly. So he became really good, Carmelo did, at running and then being shifty. With Brendan, it is all gas between the tackles, downhill running like you're used to seeing. He's not more of a hybrid, but that plays to our advantage because we have the Reed Riders and the Nashvillettes and the Aiden Unthanks that can also be our skill guys that are shiftier.
Talk a little bit about your young guys. By that I mean your sophomores. I think that's something that really stood out and people saw last week, the talent you have, sophomores dressing up.
Absolutely. Anytime when we can put in a guy like Nashvillette, we kind of have a couple guys that aren't necessarily injured, but we have little things that have been nagging. So trying to get more to the idea of who can play, get more one-way players. So throwing Nash in at X with a couple days of practice and be able to perform as well as he did, that was huge. He's got really good hands. He's a smart kid. Aiden Hankins is another kid that you'll see a lot, not necessarily starting at this point of the season, but man, he comes in either for Reed or for Brendan right out of the gate. He plays F, plays H, and that kid is kind of your plug and play. He can do literally anything you need him to do.
Well, tough question sometimes, but after week one, are we healthy?
We are healthy, absolutely. We have the week one. After week one, you're never 100% anymore. We're definitely not 100% anymore. We got guys that have a tweak here, something like that, but nothing that's going to be limiting.
Well, last year you had DuQuoin here. They won it basically in the last seconds. You guys didn't have a lead till the fourth quarter. But what do you think DuQuoin did well against you guys last year?
Against us last year is they were assignment sound and they did their jobs. We went back and we were watching film from last year, watching film from this year for scout, and we noticed that we just didn't execute in the first half. That was why they were able to run all over us and give us all kinds of problems. It's because we didn't execute. We didn't block well. We weren't finding the hole well. Again, every little thing that could go wrong seemed like it was. We came out second half and we got our act together.
Chester beat DuQuoin. I think that shocked a lot of people.
Absolutely.
What did Chester do well to execute and get the win?
They were exactly what we said that they did last year. The DuQuoin that beat us last year, that's what Chester did to them this year. They were assignment sound. They had a couple of big bomb passes and stuff like that, but they just won up front on both sides of the ball, and that's what it came down to.
Unfortunately, Tristan Webb, he's not going to skip senior year. He's back. He's going to be playing for them. He had 5 touchdowns against you guys last year. Does it just come down to stopping him offensively?
Yes and no. He obviously is the key player. That's the kid that we're making sure we know exactly what he likes to do. He loves to run the edge. They love him on that. He's really shifty and quick. They got a new quarterback, bigger built kid. He's got a decent arm about him, but when he takes off, he wants to run it. And he's a big enough kid where he's trying to lower shoulder and let you understand what he's trying to do.
So with no Waller and this Brown kid, you think it'll be more of a run game for their quarterback?
I think that'll be more of a run game for the quarterback. I saw them in their film. Again, they were doing a lot more run with him. He can pass as well, but I think he's more of a mobile quarterback that they're trying to utilize him on a run game.
Anything else stand out big with DuQuoin this year?
Nope. They're, like I say, anything big, it's just the usual DuQuoin that we're used to seeing. They're fast, they're physical, they're well coached. So even when you say, like, well, DuQuoin's down this year, they're never really down. They're a good athletic team. So making sure that we are assignment sound because you know they are as well.
What are the big keys this week for you guys to walk out DuQuoin 2-0?
To walk out of the game 2-0 against DuQuoin, definitely going to have to be assignment sound. We're going to have to play a way harder than we did last week. We played well last week, but I feel like we can take it up the intensity. We have to dominate on the passing and the running, all the key features there, and limit the turnovers and mistakes. So just, again, opposing our will. We played well against AJ. I think, again, we can take that next step and be even more of a decisively opposing team.
All right. Well, good luck tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you all.
Matt Griffith, our Rags Mobile Pressure Washing Coaches interview. Kickoff coming up soon.